So it's called The Seabed's Shining Star. It is a visual novel. There's no choices needing to be made here. We're just kind of following on the story, just kind of chatting and just like chilling out. And then after this, oh wait, the personality stats is still showing? Oh wait, hold on, let me see. It says it changed on my end. Yeah, so it's more of a kinetic novel, I would say. Yeah, no, it says it changed. Let me try. Okay, so maybe if you're on your phone star, sometimes there is a delay with changing the game category. Sometimes that does happen. But thank you for confirming, Yasuri. So we're gonna start and we'll see what happens. Once there was a man who loved a woman deeply, deeper than the sea. The woman returned his feelings, but said her father would never allow it. The man went to plead with her father, a cruel and mischievous man. He said, "Scoop the moon from the seabed, and you can have her." To the father's surprise, the man accepted his challenge without hesitation. He rowed out to sea, searching for where the moon reflected on the water. He took a bucket and tried to scoop the moon with it. But the only thing that filled the bucket was water. So this is like when I played Happy Home Prologue, where it was just me just reading the entire hour that I played that. I quote unquote played that. So this is gonna be pretty similar to that. I can fall asleep with how relaxing your voice is right now. Oh no, don't fall asleep, Star, you have work. But thank you. I don't think my voice is that nice, even though Nyasuri has told me that my voice is really nice, but I don't know, I just personally don't like my voice. I think the music helps. The music is really calming too. After trying 1, 10, 100 times, the man came to a realization. He was trying to scoop the moon from the surface of the sea, and not the seabed. He would never be able to scoop the moon from the sea so half-heartedly. He removed his clothes and dove into the sea, bucket in hand. Within the water, he searched for the moon, but the moon was nowhere to be found. All that waited in the dark was death. Despite that, the man dove deeper. Eventually, he reached the seabed. The moon eluded him, even there. The breath in his body was running thin. He prayed desperately for a god, any god, to help. As he neared death, he heard a voice. It asked what he was willing to sacrifice for his wish. In his desperation, he said he'd sacrifice anything. The voice asked for his left hand, and he agreed. His prayers were answered, and a glimmer appeared. He scooped the glimmer and swam upward frantically. As he ascended, he felt pain shoot through his left arm. He ignored the pain and broke the surface, gasping for air. Same. I hate my voice. I hate hearing in other people's stream. I know how that is. That's the same for me too. Fresh blood spilled from where his hand used to be. In the dark, it had been torn away by a creature. The man didn't have time to lament his loss. He stopped the bleeding and then looked into his bucket. What he scooped was an oyster, but it was far from normal. Hopefully he is right-handed. Hopefully. I mean, I'm assuming he is because he's carrying the bucket with his right hand, it sounds like. Inside the mouth was a brilliant golden pearl, about the size of an eye. Joyfully, he rushed to the house of the woman he loved to talk with her father. Upon seeing the man again, the father thought that the man must have failed. As the man told his story, the father was amazed. He agreed that a god helped the man, and the golden pearl was the moon. Cruel and mischievous as he was a man of his word. And so, the father allowed the man to marry his daughter. The man and the woman were married and lived a happy life together. But the man never forgot about the god who helped him that night. It would be unforgivable if he didn't properly show his gratitude. Soon after, he built a shrine and enshrined the golden pearl in it. The man named it Seabed Shrine. The god, pleased, chose to reside there. It stands to this day, inhabited by the god, waiting for those who wish to scoop the moon. That's a really nice, introduction. In the city of Hiroshima, there was a place called Seabed Shrine. It was difficult to find unless you already knew where it was. And among the locals, it had an interesting reputation. There were a few reasons for that. The first reason, it was inhabited by a god of desperation. They would only help you if you were at the end of your rope. This meant the sort who visited were gamblers, debtors, gotcha addicts, so on. Their prayers were rarely answered, and they almost never returned a second time. The second reason was obvious if you looked. The shrine was being used as a parking lot. The cars. Except the middle path, there were cars parked everywhere. It was a shrine without a trace of divinity. So that's interesting, how it went from that introduction to being here in Hiroshima and the god of desperation, which, technically that is a form of desperation. Gamblers, addicts, it's like the saint of lost causes. I'm referencing an Amberlin song that refers to the saint of lost causes and everything, which always stuck out in my mind as one of my favorite Amberlin songs. There was a third reason as well. The shrine maiden was a woman named Mizuki. Her family name was not important. She wouldn't tell if she was asked. She had been caring for the shrine since she was a child, but it was done without any tenderness or care, the bare minimum. She focused more on people who parked than people who prayed. They were paying customers. They deserved customer service. Mizuki was praying in front of the shrine to end the day. She had worked from 10 in the morning to 10 in the evening. The shrine was not popular as a place to pray, but it was as a parking lot. She didn't care either way. As long as she could feed herself, it was fine. Despite that, she did not ignore her duty as a shrine maiden. She kept the shrine clean, prayed several times a day, collected offerings. It was work to her as well, if not as profitable as being a parking attendant. As she finished praying, she saw a glimmer in the night sky. It was a shooting star. Whether a passing whim or because she believed, Mizuki decided to make a wish. I wish... Oh! Before she could make her wish, she was interrupted by a crash. What? Okay, I was not expecting this. It's working, Star. Well, I guess when eventually this gets uploaded to YouTube, this this is something to put in the background. It works until she gasps or screams really. Yeah. Or when I'm laughing like this. I was not expecting this. Oh my god. As Mizuki opened her eyes, she found the source of the crash. It was caused by a woman in white who was now sitting on a car. The roof of the car had been completely and utterly caved in. It was her car. One of the few things her father left her. Rather than dwell on it, Mizuki narrowed her eyes and scrutinized the woman. She was beautiful and shone with a faint ethereal light. Mizuki knew from experience that the woman in front of her was not human. As she gathered her thoughts, the woman spoke. Across the vastness of space we have arrived. We understand you may be surprised by our sudden arrival, but listen closely. We have come to grant your wish. We believe you were about to say it earlier. Thus, state what you desire, and it shall be granted to you. I had to see the video to see what's happening, but it's still choppy for me, so going back to audio only sounds good. Yeah, feel free to watch the VOD like after work just to see what happened here. Fix my car. Are you certain? We are a star brimming with divine radiance. We could grant a wish much, much, much grander than merely repairing your cart. You could wish for fame, fortune, perhaps true love. All this and more is within our power, if only you wish it. You heard me. Perhaps you failed to understand. We came all this way to grant your wish, and can grant whatever wish you hold in your heart. Surely you have something else that you desire. Get off my car, and then fix it. Very well. The woman pushed herself from the roof of the car and floated down to earth. Ah, this is funny. Allow us to introduce ourselves. We have been granted many names across history, Nulang and Hikoboshi among them. However, we request you address us as Altair. Would you do us the honor of sharing your name? Mizuki. Mizuki! A fitting name for one such as you, a maiden with the beauty of the moon. Mizuki's patience was rapidly wearing thin, but she maintained her composure. Could you fix my car now? Ah, as your wish, of course. We desire nothing more than to repair your cart. However, are you saying you can't? Nothing of the sort. We may not be able to repair your cart personally, however, we believe an artisan could have granted compensation, and we could bestow that upon you. I can accept that. How are you going to pay me? So this is kind of like a little bit of a backwards way of repairing the car and completing the wish. Like having like multiple steps instead of them like magically like fixing the car. It's like, oh, we'll pay you to go to a mechanic and get your car fixed that way. Like that's what they mean by an artisan, like a mechanic, a body shop owner, or something like to that nature. So that's kind of funny. It's like the idea that like wishes aren't going to be granted like directly. It's just in a roundabout way, different pathways and choices to meet those wishes. Being paid made more sense to Mizuki than her wish being granted. She didn't believe this useless star would be able to grant it anyway. We are able to locate the corpses of fallen stars, what you would know as a meteorite. We believe they are valued by your people, and thus you should be able to have your cart repaired by an artisan in exchange for it. I don't think a meteorite is going to have any particular monetary value to get my car fixed, but we'll see. Alright, where? Altair pointed beyond the bounds of the city to the mountain range in the distance. You'll be able to find a corpse of a star. Oh, that's an interesting way to call that. In those jagged peaks. If you can transport us there, perhaps with your cart, we will be able to lead you to where the corpse lies. I never thought of it like how a meteorite is the corpse of a star. But it's definitely an interesting way to phrase it. Maybe if the meteorite is pure gold or platinum. Maybe. I mean, that's possible, but I don't think that's gonna work that way. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Mizuki let out a loud, unrestrained sigh. She didn't doubt that Altair was telling the truth, but it was dangerous to drive into the mountains at night. She didn't have a choice if she wanted her car fixed, though. You still have to go through the process of converting that into cash first, most likely. Yeah, what would that process be? Because it's not like the world of Harry Potter or like an isekai or anything like that where you have gold, copper, silver coins or anything like that. The value is like different, I would imagine. Like what you would like maybe go to like a jewelry store or even let's say like a research facility or anything like that, give them the precious metals, hope that they buy it for what they're worth, and then they give you cash for it, and then they would do whatever they needed to do it, like make rings, necklace, or any other pieces of jewelry or decorations or anything with that metal. I think that's like the only way we could have that process of converting it into cash, really. I can't take you there tonight. How about tomorrow morning? That would not be possible. We cannot show ourselves while your sun is in the sky. The light from it conceals our own. Tomorrow night, then. Very well. Tomorrow night, we will set out on a journey together. We can meet here tomorrow once the sun has set. It seemed there was a problem with everything involving Altair. Yeah, probably find a a person that does jewelry, or a metallurgist, person that does metals. Okay, I can't say that word. What now? If it would be permissible, in exchange for granting your wish, we have a request. This isn't a trade. You owe me for crashing into my car. We are aware of that, yet we request you listen regardless. We are visiting this land for 3 nights, no more and no less. We request lodgings for the visit if you would show such grace. Mizuki considered it. Altair said she was a star, but from Mizuki's point of view, she was a god-like existence. Though she didn't want Altair to stay with her, a shrine maiden could not refuse a god. There was not to mention that Altair promised to give her a meteorite. A meteorite could be worth millions of yen. That would be more than enough to fix her car, or even buy a new car outright. All right. Truly, what a wonderful woman you are, Mizuki. You have our everlasting gratitude. We shall consider you a dear friend henceforth. Mizuki led Altair to where she lived, a small space located behind the shrine. Through a sliding door, the two of them reached Mizuki's living room. It's a very comfy room looking. Like, it's a really comfy looking space. Yeah, we definitely are. Except you're definitely in the calmer side. I can be spastic sometimes. I'm sure Yasuri has moments of watching my stream where like I'm super spastic. Especially like Dead by Daylight. That's a thing. And Lethal. But you might be just as spastic as me in Lethal Star when we play tomorrow. But I'm especially spastic, I think, with Dead by Daylight. Actually, let me see if I can get some music playing. The room had a tatami floor and was dominated entirely by a kotatsu. She had brought it out at the start of autumn and hadn't put it away since. It's like how people have like their Christmas trees up and they take it out in like November, and then there's some people who won't like take down their Christmas tree until July, and then they'll be like, well, you know, December is coming up in a few months anyway, we might as well keep it up. So they end up having it up year long. And some people actually like keep their Christmas trees up. They just take off the ornaments and they just like leave it in the corner so that they don't have to worry about putting it back up and down and everything. So it's just there. Like, I've known people like that. I keep my Christmas lights up year round. There's nothing wrong with that, Yasuri, honestly. Like, if I had Christmas decorations up, I probably would keep them up as long as possible too. Just cause like, it just feels like so much work to do, honestly. Like I know I'm saying that a lot, but yeah, I do mean that. Cause I grew up and it's just so exhausting to decorate. Like, my siblings, my mom, my dad, they were okay with decorating for the holidays and everything. They like to decorate the inside, the outside, and all of that. And it's like, I would watch them do this and it would just be so exhausting. Like, I don't know how people do it really. So I admire people that can do it. I'm trying to do what I can with a little bit of decoration, like trying to organize things, trying to figure out what to display, what to put away, and all that stuff, but I'm really slow at that process. Also, I totally forgot, but as I was making ramen, so when I left to go downstairs and I left my office, I heard that the kettle was on. And I thought, oh, I guess my partner, was listening to my stream and heard that I wanted to make ramen for myself, so they put on the kettle with water and everything. And they were using the restroom, so I didn't really talk to them immediately. So I'm making my ramen. I put my ramen in a bowl. The kettle stopped. I poured it in. And all of that stuff. And then my partner comes out, and I said, thank you for boiling the water. And instead of just taking it like that, and they said, yeah, I heard your stream, or I was like, yeah, I figured you wanted ramen for lunch or whatever. He's like, that water wasn't for you. He was planning on making himself food with the hot water and making ramen himself. But he's just so honest to just not take the credit for it. And I told him, okay, stream is gonna hear about this, so yeah. He could have just taken the credit. He could have just done it. He just didn't. He did. After he told me that, he's like, oh, I should have probably just said that. Yeah, I knew that you were gonna come down for lunch, and I had it ready for you. But yeah, so welcome to my home. Altair examined the room, glancing at various objects she had not seen before. We were not aware a person could live in such a restricted place. You must be a woman of unparalleled resourcefulness, Mizuki. You could say that. Mizuki settled into the kotatsu and turned it on. Warmth immediately spread beneath the table. That's a nice way to say your home is small and cramped. I mean, there's definitely a polite way to say a lot of things. Rather than like being like rude or like you're insulting, but like, it's like a veiled insult essentially. She felt as if she were alive again. That's good. I actually considered whether or not I wanted a kotatsu. Because like I plan on eventually getting like a day bed in my office so that if I wanted to take a small nap or anything I could, but also like having like a little kotatsu or a little table for me to sit down and everything, like, and not just like be at my desk all the time. I think that'd be nice, but I don't think you can really get a proper kotatsu here in the States because of fire hazards and all of that stuff. But it was a nice little idea to consider for myself, I think. Altair, on the other hand, was beyond impressed. Is this what man has become capable of since last I visited? What comfort! What bliss! To create warmth on par with a star on demand. What is this device known as, Mizuki? It's a kotatsu. They've been around for hundreds of years. A kotatsu! We will remember that. The inventions of man continue to astound us. After basking in the warmth of the kotatsu for a moment, Mizuki asked a question. Do you eat? It was about time for dinner, and she wanted something warm after being outside. Though we do not require sustenance, we would certainly be grateful for it. Without standing, Mizuki opened a cabinet and withdrew a few items. A water boiler, a large bottle of water, and 2 glasses. 2 sets of chopsticks, and 2 cups of instant ramen. So here's the ramen in play. She plugged the boiler into the wall, poured water into it, and waited. We thought you were going to prepare a meal. That's what I'm doing. You can prepare a meal with these items alone? We can hardly believe that. You'll see. Once the water had boiled, Mizuki opened the cup ramen and poured water into it. Altair examined both the water boiler and the cup ramen with an intense fascination. We can perceive that the water has been heated, and the cup appears to contain food. The heated water is cooking whatever is in the cup. Would this be a soup, perhaps? It's seafood ramen. It'll be ready in 3 minutes. 3 minutes? That must be a jest. A meal as luxurious as seafood soup could not possibly prepare that swiftly. That dish requires an hour or more, does it not? You don't have to take my word for it. After a 3-minute wait, the cup ramen was ready. So what is everybody's favorite instant ramen flavor or brand? Like right now I have the Ichiban Sapporo brand with the original flavors, the red packet. I decided not to fry up an egg. We don't have any soft-boiled eggs right now, and eggs are so expensive too. But I do have some the cooked salted duck eggs that you can get at the Asian store. So I did that, and then I added some fried garlic, and I have a side of kimchi. So we're having change in dinner plans. My partner is just gonna get some fried chicken at the local grocery store. We're gonna get some mac and cheese, some biscuits, and so we have some steamed broccoli. So instead of doing like Outback or Texas Roadhouse and driving 20 minutes to pick it up, we're just gonna get that for dinner. Shin ramen with chicken and beef ones. I think the shin ramen I've had were always the spicy ones. I don't know what flavor it is. Like, I haven't had them in a while. The stuff I have at home is Nongshim Tonkotsu ramen with kuromayu. What's kuromayu? I don't think I've ever heard of that actually. I know the Nongshim brand, but I don't think I've ever like seen that specific flavor. Black garlic. Oh, okay. So one of my favorite ramen places that I used to go to back at home, which is a Q Ramen. So they have a whole franchise now. I always like to get the black garlic ramen. Or am I mixing it with teriyaki? I forget. I just know that I tend to pick black garlic if they have the option there. The Nongshim is good too. Okay. So maybe next time I go to the Asian supermarket, I will try to find those and try them. Because we typically just do Ichiban Sapporo brand, or if we're at the grocery store, like the local grocery store, not the Asian supermarket, we'll just get like the Maruchan brand, like for quick and easy ramen if we need to. Because I only go to the Asian supermarket like once a month because it's an hour drive for me to get there. So yeah, like it's not like terrible, but it's definitely on the more annoying side. I love the black garlic too. I always get them at Ishiki, and my go-to option if there is a black garlic flavor. Yeah, and grew up in Maruchan for better or worse. So I grew up. I mean, we did get Maruchan. We also got other one, Nishin, I think. Was it the Nishin brand? I forget. But there's also like one very specific one. It's when I told my friend this brand, they were like, "That sounds racist," but it's a natural like brand. It's the Kung Fu Oriental brand. It's an orange packet. I think it's like pork base or beef base. I forget. We only knew it as the Oriental brand. But it's this orange pack of noodles, and we would always cook it on the stove and then mix in 2 or 3 eggs into the soup and noodles, and that's what we grew up with. I can't find it in stores anymore. It's not at our local Asian supermarket, like, or even the one like near my hometown. So I think it can only be bought online now, and I eat it so sparingly that it would last quite a while. So I haven't gotten it in quite a while as a result. But yeah. Mizuki pushed Altair's ramen toward her, along with a pair of chopsticks. Do you know how to use chopsticks? Would you expect any less from us? We learned to use chopsticks during our last visit. Then eat. I totally like Mizuki's vibes. I like her vibes, honestly. Mizuki put her hands together in gratitude for the food. Altair, who was watching carefully, imitated the gesture. Mizuki poured water for both of them, and the pair started eating. This is seafood noodle soup. This is not as luxurious as the seafood soup we had during our last visit. However, the springiness of the noodles, the flavor of the sea. How was this prepared in a mere 3 minutes? There must be an answer to this. Mizuki was about to answer, but before she could, Altair interrupted her. Oh god, okay. Wait, Mizuki. We wish to come to the answer ourselves. Like that swift, sword slicing sound effect. That was not expected. We were not able to see the inside of the cup before the water was poured, however. However, we are able to make an educated guess. These noodles are too firm to have been soft beforehand, so they must have been hard inside the cup. It is impossible for the flavor of the sea to be absorbed by the water in a mere 3 minutes as well. This must mean... Altair fell deep into thought. This allowed Mizuki to quietly enjoy her cup ramen and take a close look at her. It was her first thought earlier, but Altair was a beauty. Especially when she wasn't speaking. Soon enough, Altair arrived at her answer. This must mean the ingredients were cooked beforehand, placed in the cup, and all the boiled water did was soften them. We believe this is the correct answer, Mizuki. You're right. Of course we are. This is the intellect of a star. A mystery as trivial as a 3-minute seafood soup is nothing to us. Now, we shall partake before the soup becomes cold. Altair slurped the cup ramen loudly, a visible joy on her face. Whether her joy was from the flavor of the ramen or solving the mystery didn't matter, as long as she was happy. As Altair ate her noodles, Mizuki laid down on the floor. She wanted to go to sleep, but she had to change and bring out the futon. That would be a hassle that she couldn't be bothered with at the moment. Before she fell asleep under the warmth of the kotatsu, Altair's voice woke her. We have finished our seafood soup, though that was delicious. Mizuki could easily guess what the star wanted. You want another cup? If you may, we would be grateful. Mizuki begrudgingly returned to sitting. At least she had an excuse to get up from the floor. She went to pour water into a second cup of ramen, but Altair interrupted her again. Once more, we ask you to wait. What now? We would like to pour the water into the cup ourselves. With a sigh, Mizuki pushed the water boiler and the ramen across the kotatsu to Altair. Open the lid and pour the water until it reaches the line. Acknowledged! As she said that, Altair immediately dropped the water boiler. It spilled hot water over the cup ramen, the kotatsu, and herself. Are you alright? Mizuki immediately stood from the kotatsu and dashed to the bathroom. She fetched a towel in a hurry, but when she returned, she saw that Altair hadn't even moved. We are unharmed. Have no fear, Mizuki. The heat of this water cannot compare to the heat of a star. Not even the blood of the earth would be hot enough to cause us harm. All right. Oh, the panic. We must ask, would the seafood soup still be consumable? Mizuki examined the situation of the ramen and the kotatsu. There wasn't much water left in the boiler. What spilled could be easily wiped. The cup ramen was completely flooded, but would probably be fine if watered down. It won't be as good, but you should still be able to eat it in 3 minutes. That is a pleasant surprise, considering our error. Could I ask you to wipe what you spilled? Mizuki held the towel to Altair, who shook her head. Wipe? Such paltry labor is beneath me. Behold! Oh, I love the inclusion of the sound effects and the changes in the lights and everything here. Altair glowed brightly, and the spilled water evaporated into a plume of steam. This is the warmth of a star. You must be impressed. Sort of. She was impressed. Now, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Mizuki took another look at Altair, who was completely focused on her ramen. A human would have been scalded by the boiling water, but Altair was untouched. She was also easily able to evaporate the water in a flash. There was no denying she was a god, and if she was, then... Let's do this properly. Do what properly? My name is Mizuki, and I'm 24 years old. I'm the caretaker and shrine maiden of Seabed Shrine. My hobby is beetle fighting, and my favorite food is uni. My blood type is A, and my star sign is Aquarius. I like walking at cats. I like walking at night, and I dislike cats. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm a little sad that she doesn't like cats. That's a little sad for me. I've had uni once. I don't really care for it. I don't like the texture so much. Is beetle fighting a big thing in Japan? So I can't answer that actually. I'm not too sure. I think so, though. Like, it seems to be a common thing brought up in anime and in this game, at least right now. It's not the first time I've heard of beetle fighting. But yeah, I can't answer that. Like, I hear stories about it being a big hobby of boys in rural Japan. Huh, okay. Maybe it is. Like, much more than we think it is. I don't know if there's anybody that has like lived in Japan for like a substantial amount of time, but it'll be interesting to get some insight on that. Like if anybody knows anybody do that in Japan. We do spider fighting in the Philippines. Wait, how does that work, Star? Like do you just put like 2 spiders and like enclose them so that they can't get out and like see if they fight each other? Is that how it works? But yeah, no worries, Star. It's definitely... Oh no, it's already cold. It's been cold for a while. Yeah, it was cold for a while. But I did finish it. But yeah, so okay, so here's the video about fighting in the Philippines. That's wild, Star. Like, oh my god, and I'm terrified of spiders. I will freeze and panic if I see spiders. Like I'm fine seeing them in a video, but like if like I'm like here, you know, IRL, and I'm like doing stuff around the house, and then I don't see a spider there, and then like all of a sudden it's there, and it like startles me, I like freeze. I will hyperventilate really bad because of that. We keep them in a matchbox as their cage. Wow, okay, I learned something new. So how often, like, so if you did any of the spider fighting, Star, what would you say, how many battles would you say you've won? Have you ever gotten into spider fighting championships? Now that is an introduction. We did not think you could speak that much. You must have warmed up to us. Why did you decide to introduce yourself? Because that's everything I'll tell you about myself. If you ask me anything else about me, I won't answer. Very well. We have already introduced ourselves. However, if there is anything you desire to know about us, sate your curiosity. Why are you here? To grant your wish, of course. Don't mess with me. That is not our intent. There is simply a second reason, one that we are not prepared to share with you as of now. We apologize if you believe we deceived you, Mizuki. Alright, I'll accept that for now. I'm going to change, eat your ramen, and we'll get ready for bed. A star is always shining, so we have no need to sleep. However, we are willing to try. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So she's counting down for her ramen. Mizuki took a quick shower, changed her clothes, and returned to the living room. She cleaned up the kotatsu and then put it to the side and rolled out a pair of futon. One of them belonged to her, and the other, it wasn't important. Oh, wait, maybe this is like, maybe she had a significant other? She flicked the lights off. Oh, this is so cozy. Mizuki rolled into her futon, ready to fall asleep. She had a long day and would have already been asleep, except Altair wasn't laying down yet, sitting on top of the futon instead. There seemed to be something on her mind. Significant other or family, perhaps. Yeah, I'm leaning towards significant other, but we'll see. Mizuki? What? You said you wouldn't answer anything else about yourself, but we have a question. Go on. To fix your cart, is that your wish? We heard you speak as we fell. We believe you had a wish even before we crashed. It's my wish now. We are a generous star. If you desire, we could grant your wish and also fix your cart. Why have you been calling it a cart? It's a car. We were not aware there was a difference between a cart and a car. We assumed it was a change in dialect since our last visit. Now, this makes me wonder, how long ago was the last time they visited Earth? You know, they said that cup ramen or no, kotatsus weren't around when they last visited, and when they last visited they learned about chopsticks, like how to use them. So it's like I really wonder, like, how long ago did they last come to the Earth? Centuries, but like they learned chopsticks, so like I don't know, it just kind of boggles my brain a little bit to think that it's been so long ago that they knew chopsticks, but not the difference between cart and a car. Like maybe a couple, like, well, because they kotatsus have been around for hundreds of years. So it actually, when was the first true kotatsu actually? I hope they reveal it soon. I don't want to look it up because maybe like it's not going to be like true to like real world logic, but maybe we'll find out. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Could you not tell tonight? We will ponder this mystery the whole night if you do not. I'm tired. Go to bed. What a cruel woman you are, Mizuki. Mizuki closed her eyes and drifted off to sleep. When was the last time she slept in the same room as another person? It was a long, long time ago. She didn't dislike it. Flashback? I don't remember much about my father. Mizuki, listen to me. There wasn't much to remember. I'm going away for a while. You're 6 now. I can count on you to take care of the shrine. When he wasn't at work, he was asleep. If he wasn't asleep, then I'll be leaving you with your grandmother. At the time, I didn't know I had a grandmother. When I think of my father, I think of him praying. He was always always praying. Praying for what? I don't know. He prayed quietly, but once, only once, I heard my father pray out loud. I should be desperate enough now. 2 bows, 2 claps. Grandma, if you can hear me, I need you to take care of Mizuki. And 1 bow, as deeply as he could. Oh! I knew the woman who appeared wasn't a normal person. She was like the moon. It's not a good thing that you can pray to me, Hazuki. I know, Grandmother, but you know my circumstances. There's no point chasing that woman. You don't know that. Hazuki, Grandmother, please, I'm not asking you to help me. Just take care of Mizuki. I didn't know what was happening, but I knew who they were talking about. There wasn't anyone else it could be. All right. What are you willing to sacrifice? Anything. I saw a sad expression on the woman's face before she pointed at me. I'll take Mizuki then. Thank you, Grandmother. This isn't something you should thank me for. Please, take care of her in my place. I don't remember much about my father. Mizuki, this is your grandmother. She took care of me when I was a child, and she'll be taking care of you while I'm gone. But I remember the look on his face. Stay safe, Mizuki. I'll see you soon. It was relief. I was left alone with the woman. What a useless man. Just like. She turned her focus toward me. Hopefully, you turn out better than him. You don't know me, but I've been watching over you since you were born. You deserve better than that hopeless pair for parents, but people rarely get what they deserve. She was called many things by many different people. God of Desperation, the moon's reflection, even grandmother. But I called her. Well, you have me now, and I have you. What do you want for dinner, Mizuki? Mom. I had to consciously remind myself to pronounce it as mom instead of mum. When she woke up, Mizuki was able to delude herself for a moment. That Altair wasn't real, and she didn't spend the night talking to a star. She then turned to see an empty futon beside her. Her delusion was immediately shattered. Mizuki recalled what Altair said to her last night. Altair couldn't show herself while the sun was up. That meant she should return once the sun had set. Mizuki had a whole day before that happened then. Mizuki's day was nothing out of the ordinary. It was her usual work as a shrine maiden and parking attendant. An unhealthy convenience store lunch of 2 rice balls and a popsicle. She scared cats away, prayed, idly swept the shrine, paced around, and waited for the star to return. Not that she would admit it. She didn't have to wait for long. The moment the sun set, Altair returned. She appeared on top of Mizuki's car without crashing this time. They say she didn't crash on the car, but they're showing the art from when she did crash on the car. So which is it? We have, or maybe it's just a remnant of the car being broken and not so much her actually crashing into it. I guess that would make more sense. We have returned. What a long and arduous wait it was. Now, we demand that you relieve us from the agony of our curiosity, Mizuki. What is the difference between a cart and a car? She's probably just sitting exactly where she landed at first. Probably. Yeah, that makes sense. A car does not need a horse. It does not need a horse. How does it move? Do not tell us, Mizuki. We will come to our own conclusions as we ride the car. There must surely be a hint that will allow us to understand it. Get off the car and we'll get going. Very well. Altair floated down from the side of the car. Mizuki would never say it, but she was fascinated each time she saw it. It was something she was deeply envious of. Thank you for the stretch, Nasuri. And anybody else who's viewing the stream, please make sure to stretch as well, or hydrate, because I'm going to actually hydrate as well too. Because salty ramen, kimchi, and salted duck egg, it's definitely a dehydrator thingy. And I'm gonna stand up a little bit so I can stretch. About to go to my car and drive home. Sounds good. Drive safe, Star. It was something she was deeply envious of. If only she could float herself. Hold on. They had forgotten something important. Mizuki quickly walked to the back of the shrine. She retrieved a shovel, opened the trunk, and threw it in. A clever thought! The corpse could be buried. Without a spade, it would be difficult to retrieve the corpse. We did not consider that. You don't think about a lot of things. That is false. We are always thinking. What she was thinking about was obvious. Mizuki opened the car door for Altair, and both of them got in. As Mizuki started the engine and it began to roar, Altair's eyes lit up. That could be nothing else aside from combustion. Something is being burned as we speak. We did not sense any combustion with the water boiler last night, however. We are certain beyond a doubt that there is a fire contained somewhere within this car. You're right, but how does that move it? You will not lead us astray with a question, Mizuki. Start moving the car first, and we will consider the answer as you do. I'm not trying to trick you. Mizuki, we are already aware of your cruelty. You can kind of see on my Twitch Insta, but it's just good angles. I will give that a look later, Star, as long as you're comfortable with me looking. I wonder how big this meteorite is. The car may not be able to transport it. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Maybe it's never actually about the meteorite. Maybe it's about the journey on the way. Before they left Seabed Shrine, Mizuki stopped at the front. She left the car for a moment and placed a sign on the wall. I'm not here. Leave your parking fee in the offering box. I'll know. That should do it. How does the combustion allow it to move? Stop thinking for a second and tell me where we're going. Ride toward the mountains. We will grant precise guidance once we are there. You're focused in the car, aren't you? We will not require a significant time to find the answer. We request your patience. Oh, that's such a pretty night sky. I love the outside here. Like, the art here is just so nice in this game. I really enjoy it. And like, barring the more energetic energy and tracks, the music itself is really enjoyable. And I don't know, I hope you guys are all enjoying, you know, what this is. It's just kind of like a little company experience or anything like that. As Altair considered the car, Mizuki quietly drove toward the mountains. She paid attention to the road, but paid almost as much attention to Altair herself. Her expression, her muttering, her frustration. It made her want to laugh. Mizuki stopped herself. She thought that laughing would ruin the atmosphere. The music is nice, and the genre is a nice shift from your usual. Thank you, Nasuri. Yeah, it's definitely a shift from like the usual like horror game and psychological stuff. I'm just enjoying the audio as I walk to the wrong parking lot. Oh no, Star! Hopefully you weren't too far from the correct parking lot. Though she didn't laugh, a mischievous thought snuck into Mizuki's mind. Would you like a hint? It's like an audiobook experience. Oh, if only I had a good voice for the audiobook. I know you and Yasuri say otherwise, but still, I can't help but be self-conscious about it. Like having like the occasional game like this isn't too bad, as long as like people don't mind me just like talking and yammering and like getting distracted and everything. You pay? Oh, thank you both. I appreciate it. There is nothing we would desire less. That you would even ask demonstrates the extent of your cruelty and mischief. To be granted even an inkling of the answer would cause the effort we have expended thus far to become worthless. A car moves, but... Mizuki! This time, Mizuki couldn't help herself. She let out a short laugh, barely a second long. Altair's reactions were too funny for her to hold it. It was surprisingly enough that Altair stopped thinking entirely. Mizuki, did you? I didn't. We believed you were a colder woman than that, Mizuki. We were mistaken. Your laughter must be as rare as a shooting star. Mizuki was quick to change the topic. We'll reach the mountains in about 3 hours. I'm going to pass by a convenience store for dinner. Do you want anything? Probably some more cup ramen. From what you are saying, this convenience store must be a place to purchase food. What is convenient about this store? Do you remember the cup ramen last night? It sells food like that. Thank you for the lurk, Star. Drive safe, and I hope there's not too much traffic for you. A store that deals in the sale of instant food. We now understand the convenience. As for what we would want, we understand this may be an outrageous demand. If this store is truly convenient, would it have something sweet? We are aware of the value of sugar, yet we ask. Yeah, so this must be during a time that the last time they came to Earth is when sugar was a very precious commodity. Also, like her being a star and everything, it kind of reminds me of Toho Mistia's Izakaya, where like certain creatures or certain like the moon people, the bunnies, like they prefer something sweet and cool and refreshing and dreamy and all that stuff. So that kind of reminds me of that. Something sweet. All right. We knew it would be an unreasonable. Truthfully, we did not think it would be within your ability to procure, Mizuki. What sort of sweets are there? Could there even be that delectable star-shaped treat, Konpeito? Konpeito. The convenience store should have it, but we would be eternally in your debt if you could grant us even a single star of Konpeito. We remember it dearly from our last visit, and we deeply desire to taste it again. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, would it be pronounced actually Konpeito? Konpeito? I don't know. I know I'm saying it weird, but yeah. Because like I'm thinking of like the characters to write it, and like technically like is there the EI sound? I don't know. Actually, let me look this up real quick. Japanese Konpeito. How to write this in Japanese? Konpeito. I think the kotatsu was invented around the 14th century, but the Konpeito was actually around the 16th century. Oh, so yeah, so there's actually no true like logic, I guess, to the star, to Altair coming to Earth, because if they were around to know what Konpeito is, but not the kotatsu, then I guess it's like maybe it's more of a selective type of thing. Like maybe she only saw the Konpeito and not the kotatsu. That's the only thing I could think of then. I don't know. It would be expensive. I might even have to sell the shrine to afford it. We cannot afford to take your home from you for a mere whim. We apologize for our lack of restraint, Mizuki. Perhaps wherever or whenever she last landed, there were no kotatsus around at the time, perhaps in the summer. Yeah, that's true. It could have just been a selective time moment then for her. Or for them, rather. For the second time, Mizuki couldn't help herself. She laughed long enough that it couldn't be denied. Mizuki, why are you laughing? Are you laughing at our outrageous demand? I'm not mad, it's just... Then you must be laughing at our foolishness. To think we would dare to ask for something so valuable that you would lose everything. Konpeito is cheap enough that a child could buy it. Cheap enough that... Truthfully? That would not be a jest, would it? You would not be cruel enough to trick us twice in a row, would you? Hydrate! Auto-hydrate reminder. Because I have it set that like the more chatting happens, the more I get reminded to hydrate, in addition to the commands too. I can buy as much as you want. Mizuki, your radiance is akin to a star. Would we be able to ask for 4? No, 5 pieces. We ask that you forgive our greed. How about 100? Now that is certainly a trick. Rather than be played with as a string by a cat, we will simply allow you to decide. If you give us even 1 piece, we will be overjoyed. It's mostly just me rambling at this point. Oh no, you are fine, Yasuri. It helps, and I enjoy the conversation. So please don't worry about restraining yourself or anything of the like. I'll see what I can do. We're near the convenience store, so just stay in the car. As you wish. Mizuki parked the car and entered the convenience store. She bought herself 2 rice balls, a popsicle, and a large bottle of water. In the candy section, there was Konpeito with various anime characters on the bag. She couldn't remember the last time she watched anime or even television. She bought 10 bags of Konpeito and put them in a separate bag and left the store. Mizuki opened the car and got back in her seat. She casually threw the bag of Konpeito at Altair. Here you go. Did they not have it at all? We would not be surprised if so. Open the bag. Altair did as she was told and stared into the bag for almost a minute. To her, the Konpeito inside the bag was worth more than gold. This must be another trick, Mizuki. Think what you want. We will open one container and demonstrate these are mere decoration. Altair opened one of the bags, and the distinct smell of sugar spread through the air. It certainly does appear and smell akin to a sugar star, the treat we have been dreaming of for centuries. However, it may taste entirely different. We will have to try it to be certain. She carefully placed a single Konpeito on her tongue. This is, without a doubt, Konpeito! A star that shines with sweetness instead of warmth, an unrivaled sweet. A jar would be enough to purchase a manor, and yet you have acquired enough that we can have as much as we desire. How could this be possible, Mizuki? I told you it was cheap. How could such a wondrous thing have become affordable? We recall being told to be careful and not to waste it the last time we had the privilege to try it. The world spins. People have come a long way since then. Yeah, you're right, Yasri. Technology definitely does make a difference. It does seem so. Are we allowed to enjoy all of this to ourselves? Knock yourself out. Mizuki started on her rice balls. She wanted to eat them before she kept driving. Knock ourselves out? Should we return to sleep? We have awoken just now. It's a saying. Eat as much as you want. Very well. Mizuki quickly ate her rice balls, had the popsicle for dessert, and got back on the road. With the candy to keep Altair quiet, the drive to the mountains passed uneventfully. Altair had not even eaten 3 bags by the time they were close. She was savoring them carefully, waiting for each star to melt. We're almost there. We are. We did hear you say 3 hours. This is truly an impressive car to be able to make the trip with such swiftness. To walk this distance instead would require over a week. It's not that impressive, especially with the dent you made. Without any trickery, Mizuki, would the corpse of a star be enough to compensate an artisan for repairing your car? We believe that it would be sufficient. However, our sense of value has been distorted significantly by the Konpeito. It should be more than enough. But how did you learn the value of meteorites anyway? During our last visit, we also granted a wish with the corpse of a star, and we were treated akin to royalty as a result. Our knowledge of seafood soup, Konpeito, and this land as a whole was learned during that time. Hope you've been having fun this visit. Though you could stand to be more reverent of us, we are enjoying our visit thus far. We have seen many an interesting sight already. As you stated earlier, the world does spin. Reverent? If you want something, ask. I'll probably say no, but I'll hear you out. We are satisfied, however, if you are offering. Could you tell us what you truly wish for, Mizuki? I wish you'd stop asking that. As you wish. We will wait patiently for your answer. We will not ask again. All right. The pair soon arrived at the mountains. Mizuki followed the road until Altair told her they were close, and then parked the car. Mizuki got her shovel and water, and then the two of them climbed over the guardrail. Carefully, they headed toward where the meteorite supposedly was. We should be a few hundred steps away from the corpse, Mizuki. Follow us, and we will arrive where it had fallen, however long ago that may have been. I might be slow. It's hard to find my footing. Your footing? Ah, you cannot float. An issue we have never had. If I could float, I would never bother walking. Having to tread the ground, you must be envious. I'm not. Even though we do know that she is slightly envious. Then you should be. To float freely through the air is the privilege of a star. It makes you look like a cloud. A star is far above a mere cloud. Eventually, Altair stopped. What she stopped over looked like a normal piece of ground. If there was a meteorite here, it would have been impossible to detect. We have arrived. If you dig here, you should be able to acquire the corpse of a star. If you're wrong, I'm going to take your Konpeito. Then it is fortunate that we are certainly not wrong. Mizuki started digging into the ground. Even though she was stronger than an average woman, it was hard work. It would be even harder to dig in the dark, but the warm glow of Altair helped. 1 foot, 2 feet, the hole got deeper, yet the meteorite was nowhere to be found. Are you sure that it's here? We are certain. There is no reason to doubt our sense for our kin. Would you mind helping? Mizuki held the shovel out to Altair, but the star shook her head. We do not possess the strength. Don't mess with me. Mizuki forced the shovel into Altair's hands. The shovel immediately clattered onto the ground. Altair looked into Mizuki's eyes and then down at the shovel. She picked it up and tried her hardest to hold it. It clattered to the ground again. We realized last night that our strength had left us. Mizuki thought for a moment and then realized what she meant. Was that why you dropped the boiler? A star is stronger than any human, and we possessed that strength last visit. However, we are not prepared to discuss it yet. Could we request that you wait until we have composed our thoughts? All right. What a patient woman you are, Mizuki. We will reveal everything about ourselves with time. We are not the same as you. What do you mean by that? Altair deadened her expression and tried to impersonate Mizuki. If you ask anything else about me, I won't answer. Okay. Mizuki had to stifle another laugh. I won't. Oh man, the interactions between these two characters, it's really pleasant. I really like the difference in the characters themselves. Mizuki picked up the shovel and started digging again. This time, she wouldn't stop until she reached something. After an entire hour of digging, she heard a sound as her shovel hit a hard patch. We've got something. That should be the corpse. We'll see about that. Mizuki dug around the hard patch, slowly but surely unearthing an enormous rock. It was roughly 20 kilograms and took all her strength to lift from the hole. From the texture and color, it was without a doubt a meteorite. Mizuki stared for a long time, like Altair staring at the Konpeito. I'm rich. We ask again, Mizuki, is this corpse sufficient to grant your wish? Huh? Oh, right. For a moment, she forgot the wish that she told Altair. Mizuki forced herself to look away from the meteorite. It's more than enough. I just have to figure out how to sell this. It wouldn't be particularly difficult to sell the meteorite. The country's laws meant that whoever found it owned it. The problem for Mizuki was selling it without having her name be known. If she could have someone else take credit for finding it, she would prefer that. Shall we return home for now, Mizuki? You can consider the sale after we have left. That's a good point. Let's go home. So, how much is 20 kilograms? 20 kilograms to pounds. So that's about 44 pounds. So I guess technically, Mizuki could put it in the car. Yeah, 45 or so. Like it's like 44 point something something something. Oh, I wanted to hear what the meteorite's mineral composition, but I guess she wouldn't be able to figure that out with her current knowledge. Yeah, that's true. Also, welcome back, Star. That was a fast drive, actually. I hope your drive was pretty good. Mizuki lifted the meteorite from the ground and braced it against her stomach. It was a long walk back to the car, but there was no other way to get back. It was hard enough for her to walk through the mountains to get here. Drive was good, no traffic since I left pretty early today and most people are off. Gotcha. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. It would be even harder to get out, uphill, and holding a giant rock. Aside from repairing your car, we are curious. What will you do with your newfound fortune? Mizuki didn't have an immediate answer, distracted by the weight she was carrying. She thought about the anime characters on the Konpeito she bought earlier. Buy a television, maybe. We have not heard that word. What is a television? It's a box where you can watch a play on whatever you or whenever you want. Another wondrous invention. We would like to see one for ourselves. And then, I'm not sure. You are a woman without desire, Mizuki. What do you mean by that? We believe the last person we bestowed a corpse built a castle with it. I don't need a castle. Is there anything in the world that you do need? No. Then we should consider what you could spend your fortune on together. Does she plan on staying around for a long time? What do the people of this world desire? How about a feast? It's a waste on me. Convenience store food is enough. Perhaps an animal to serve as a companion. I don't want the responsibility. You could purchase a telescope so that you can gaze upon us after we leave. I'm fine forgetting about you. You could not forget us even if you desired it. Maybe. Gaze up at the night sky. We will show you where we are. Altair pointed upward, and Mizuki followed with her eyes. Oh, I guess right here. Mizuki did know roughly where the star Altair was. It was Hikoboshi. Everyone in the country knew it. She couldn't see the stars clearly from the city due to light pollution. But out here in the mountains, the sea of stars could be clearly seen. There you are. As she gazed at Altair in the night sky, Mizuki tripped and fell. Oh god, what's going on? Oh no, 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 no! She dropped the meteorite and rolled down the side of the mountain. Mizuki! I remember my mother well. Mizuki, I want you to listen. I'm afraid of forgetting her. I'll be leaving soon. You're 18 now. You can take care of yourself. So her dad left at 6, and her grandmother, who she actually calls Mom, I guess is the one leaving here at 18. She wasn't wrong. I'm sorry, but I know you'll be alright. She wasn't wrong, but when I think of my mother, I think of her next to me. She was always by my side. Even though she was a god, I could always hold her hand. She wasn't someone I needed to pray to. She was my mother. Do you know what a cat does when they're about to die, Mizuki? I did. They find somewhere where nobody can see them, and then die alone. I hated that. You and your father, Hazuki, are the last 2 people to believe in me. When nobody believes in a god, they fade away. I would never stop. When Hazuki wished for me to take care of you, it let me stay around for a while longer. Long enough to watch you grow up. Then all I had to do was... I know what you're thinking, Mizuki. I just had to make a wish and she could stay. Let me ask you a question. What? When Hazuki made that wish, I felt like I'd gained a daughter. I felt like I gained a mother. I couldn't have been happier. How about you? I couldn't either. I raised you with all my love, Mizuki. She did, but you're not desperate enough to pray to me. I understood now. It's a good thing that you can't pray to me. It wasn't a good thing at all. It proves that I answered Hazuki's prayer. That's not what I wanted. I know this is cruel, but you deserve to know the truth. I didn't care about the truth. I wish it didn't have to be this way. I just wanted her to stay. Mizuki, I'll always be watching over you. I remember my mother well. Even if you can't see me, I'll be there. But I've been starting to forget. It's time for me to go. Don't. You are and will always be my daughter. Don't go, Mom. Oh my god, my heart. Oh, shite. I actually do need a little tissue right now. I never used to be so sensitive to these things. But now I get like very teary-eyed easily. Mizuki's eyes shot open. She realized she was lying down and on Altair's lap. She moved to sit down, but pain shot through her body. It's easier to be more sentimental with age. Yeah, I guess so. I feel like I didn't start getting sentimental until like openly sentimental. I always like try to keep it like personal to myself. If I was gonna get sentimental, but like I feel like I've gotten more sentimental and open about it since like 2020, I want to say, actually. So not too long ago, but like, so it's a little embarrassing, but I had never watched Big Hero 6, the movie. I had never watched it before, and the first time I actually watched the movie was in I want to say 2020 or something like that. I was in a diner. So I watched part of it, but then our flight, the TV broke or whatever, so I couldn't finish the movie. And I was at a diner with my roommate, and they had Big Hero 6 on the TV. So I'm watching it, I'm reading the subtitles, and they get to that scene with Baymax, like that ending scene, where like he's like sacrifices himself for Hero, and I bawled my eyes out in public. I legit was crying so hard, actually, in the diner, whereas like that would have never happened prior to that year. So I've definitely gotten more sentimental and more open about that sentimentality as I've gotten older. But yeah, so it's like, you know, being like, well, it's like late 20s and like just crying in a diner was definitely an experience. So my roommate makes jokes about that experience because he was the one with me when that happened. She moved to sit down, but pain shot through her body. Do not move, Mizuki. You fell. You have been asleep for over an hour. That's not good. Mizuki resigned herself to staying still. She must have fallen far down the slope. She didn't know how she'd get out of this mess. She was hurt, she didn't own a phone, and nobody knew she was here. We should be able to get help, Mizuki. How would you do that? We could float into the sky and glow. Would that be enough? It would. It would be difficult to explain, but it was impossible to ignore. Where's the meteorite? Even in this situation, Mizuki thought about money. You should worry about yourself. The meteorite is nearby. That's good. She thought the trip would have been a waste otherwise. Mizuki, what? We were thinking while you slept, and we have 2 matters we wish to discuss. Does it have to be now? We would appreciate it if you listen now, before we call for help. Mizuki paused for a second and then nodded. It wasn't as if she could get up. The first is that we believe we understand how a car works. Always going back to the thinking and the understanding. That's what you want to talk about? We have had time to think about it. Mizuki had to stifle a laugh. Alright, tell me your answer. We believe that fuel is being placed into a chamber, then combusted. The force of the combustion is used, through one mechanism or another, to spin the wheels and move the car forward without using a horse. It may seem strange, but we believe the car is propelled forward by a chain of explosions. We believe this is the correct answer, Mizuki. You're right. Of course we are. This is the intellect of a star. What was the other thing you wanted to talk about? We have composed our thoughts and gathered our resolve. We can explain why we are here and why we lost our strength, if you desire to hear it. All right? Very well. If your son suddenly vanished, it would take 8 minutes for you to know. For 8 minutes, it would seem as if everything was right in the world. Once the last of the light reached you, the sky would become dark. What does that have to do with anything? We are dying, Mizuki. To be precise, we are already dead. Oh. Though we call ourselves Altair, that is a name I am borrowing from Lord Hikoboshi. I am a nameless star. My body died an eternity ago, and only the light I cast remains. Lord Hikoboshi took pity on me and allowed my light to be considered as his own. Because of him, I was able to roam the land that he loved as his envoy. However, what remains of my light will soon fade. Once it does, then I will vanish entirely. Lord Hikoboshi allowed one last visit, and I am glad I could spend it with you. Mizuki didn't know how to respond. She had only known Altair for 2 nights. She didn't think it was her place to comfort her. Altair wasn't much more than a stranger to her. Mizuki didn't have any friends. She didn't have a good reference for what a friend was. She didn't think she considered Altair a friend. But the truth was simpler than that. She liked Altair. She liked talking with her. She would like to spend more time with her. There wasn't much time left. All right? Thank you for listening to us, Mizuki. What else was I going to do? Tell you no? We would not consider that beyond you. I'm not heartless, you know. If you have a heart, may we make a request? Taking advantage of an injured person? We believe a dying person is beyond even an injured one. Mizuki laughed and pain shot through her body. You're right, I guess. What do you want? Tomorrow night, we would like to share a dinner with you. We recall a dish from our last visit. A seafood soup with an animal known as an oyster. We understand that it is luxurious. However, the fortune you acquire from the corpse of a star should be more than enough. That's more a demand than a request, isn't it? It is. We would be overjoyed if you accepted it. I like that more when you ask politely. That's how a god should be. We do not consider ourselves a god. We are a star. You're a god to me. Mizuki looked up at Altair and the night sky above her. Among the stars she could see Altair shone the brightest, but that was merely a matter of distance. Soon she would fade away. Oyster soup. I can do that. Thank you, my dear friend. We aren't friends. We're not? We were under the impression that we were. I'd rather not put a name to it. You'll only be here one more night. Though that is true, we do consider you a friend, Mizuki. That's your problem. Speaking of your problem, our problem. Mizuki had been annoyed by something since she'd met Altair. Now that she knew the truth, she could speak her mind on it. Enough of that wee nonsense. I liked it when you called yourself I. We represent Lord Hikoboshi and ourselves, hence we. Lord Hikoboshi isn't here. You're just you. I see. You would prefer this then? That's better. That will take adjustment. I want to ask you something, Mizuki. What would that be? Do you want crab to go with your oyster soup? Crab, though, what? I have never eaten that before. That is not what I wanted to ask. You have not once called me Altair. Why is that? You don't have to call people by name to talk to them. I understand that, however, not once. Were you avoiding it? I thought something was wrong with your name, but I wasn't sure what. You are a person with keen sense of intuition, Mizuki. You could say that. Shall I beckon for help now? Let me try to get up one more time. Once more, Mizuki tried to get up. Even with her grit, it wasn't happening. She didn't think she'd broken any bones, but she was beaten all over. She would probably be covered in bruises when she woke tomorrow. Mizuki gave up and returned to lying down. All right, I'll leave it up to you. I'll see you tomorrow night, Mizuki. See you. Altair rose up into the sky and shone as brightly as she could. Ooh, bright light. Mizuki closed her eyes, blinded by the light. When she opened them, Altair was gone. Within an hour, a policeman arrived to investigate the light. He found Mizuki in the forest and immediately called for help. When he asked about her circumstances, she gave a vague answer. She said that she was here to search for a meteorite and found one. Mizuki was taken to a hospital and was told she was lucky to be alive. She had rolled several dozen meters down the side of the mountain. If she collided with a tree or fell into a crevice, she would have died. As it was, she escaped with heavy bruising and a few broken ribs. They kept her in the hospital overnight, but there was something she had to talk about. Bound in her hospital bed, she spoke with the policeman who rescued her. She lied that a story was passed down her family about the meteorite. According to the laws of the country, she was allowed to keep it. The policeman recommended that Mizuki sell the meteorite to the country. He would have it examined and then send the money once it was confirmed. Mizuki understood what he was saying, but had her own proposition. They would split it 80-20, and he could take the credit for finding it. The policeman accepted. That suited Mizuki well. She didn't want her name to get out. Once the policeman left, there was nothing left but to rest. Hi Schizo, how are you today? Thanks for coming by the stream. The hospital bed was more comfortable than her futon. That night, Mizuki didn't have any dreams. Cold as fuck. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I I think I saw you in a silent stream, like in the chat, saying that it had snowed overnight. I hope you can stay warm and everything, and hopefully the snow isn't too bad for you. Hospital beds are not comfortable at all. Yeah, they really aren't, but that really says something about her futon. I mean, I imagine she's had her futon since like her dad left and everything when she was 6. So that's possible. Like why it's like it's actually not that comfortable. But yeah, 4 to 6 inches. Oh wow, that's a lot of snow. Hopefully you don't have to worry about shoveling. Her futon is probably older than her. Yeah, probably actually. Mizuki was able to leave the hospital in the morning. It was painful to walk, but fortunately, the police had retrieved her car from the mountains. She had some work to do before she could return to the shrine. She had to figure out where she could buy crab and oysters. The detour gave her time to think about last night, about the nature of the nameless god that had been keeping her company. Despite the fact that Altair was dying, Mizuki wasn't that bothered about it. Everyone died someday. That's what she told herself. Asking around, she was able to find a store that sold seafood at a decent price. She had received the money from the meteorite so she could spend freely. Fuck no, my vehicles stay in my shop and I just drive through the snow. The truck can go right through it. That's fair. At least you don't have to shovel then. Is she really moving around with broken ribs? I mean, I'm assuming that like she's just moving very, very slowly. I can only assume at least. Or maybe she has like bruised ribs? I don't know. Did it say broken? You took a nap in the car? Oh no, Star! You should get yourself inside and like get comfortable. How did you end up napping in the car? I mean, I've done it before, but like literally your last message was that traffic was good and everything. She was diagnosed with bruises and broken ribs. Oh, okay. I mean, I can only assume that she's just taking it very slowly. I've never had broken ribs, so I don't know how that works really, unfortunately. I guess fortunately too, that I've never had broken ribs, but yeah. And also thank you for the hydrate mastery. Yeah, I don't know, never broke anything myself. Yeah, same. I've never had a broken bone. I have a lot of pain issues, and I might have like sprained my ankles once or twice. I kind of just ignore it and deal with it, but yeah. If it was super bad, I just call up the local plow guy and have him plow the driveway for a few bucks. He's done it for me for the past few years. Oh, okay. Well, that's good that you have like a number to call and everything then. Also, this music is so nice. I'm sorry, it's like that bit. Like it's just so nice, the music. I wouldn't be surprised if I got home and he already did it. Well, that's good that like he's reliable in that way then. She thought about the question she was asked last night. What would she even do with the money? There wasn't anything she wanted to spend it on. The life she was living right now was more than enough. A small room, convenience store food, spacing out, idling about. Was she satisfied with that? She thought she was. Ever since her mom had left, she wasn't sure about the direction of her life. Whenever she thought about it, she ended up thinking she didn't need one. Was that wrong? Couldn't she be allowed to drift aimlessly like a cloud? She wished she could. Aside from the seafood, There were a few more things she had to buy. If I get home and it's done, I'll just PayPal him the money. Gotcha. Okay. Well, convenience of like the pay app thingy majiggies. Very good question. I don't know how, but I did. I checked the time and I was surprised it's been 30 minutes almost. Your voice is just so relaxing. Well, hopefully you are now inside your house, Star, and could get comfortable in bed and take a proper nap. Because now you get to enjoy your 3-day weekend. She had never cooked oyster soup before, but she had seen it done. It was one of her mom's favorite dishes that came out a little bit there, so she had eaten it enough. She thought it was a taste enjoyed by the gods. It was a simple enough dish that she could wait for Altair to arrive. She didn't have a refrigerator, so she bought a foam box and filled it with ice. Let me poke around in the game's files. Thank you, Yasuri. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you could find out, even if it's like knowing who the artist is and like following their Spotify or whatever, I would love that because this is just so pretty. Yes, I'm in. We'll see what I want to do. Okay, well, whether it's napping or having some food or drinking some water because you're like me and we don't drink enough water, so here's your reminder to drink some water as well. And I'm gonna drink some water too because I realize I am feeling dehydrated with how much I've been talking for the last 4 hours, almost 5 hours. And there's the reminder to hydrate anyway, so it works out. It would be enough to keep the oysters and crab fresh until the sun set. She placed it onto the kotatsu and waited outside. When was the last time she had waited for someone? 6 years. Mizuki was about to convince herself that she was all right alone, was able to convince herself. Now that she had company again, she was finding it hard to believe. While she waited, she decided to pray. The god of the shrine hadn't answered in years. It didn't matter whether they did or not. She would pray until it happened. The moment the sun set, Altair returned. I left my water on my desk, but I'll grab a drink for you. Thank you, Star. I appreciate that. Scattered light gathered into her form. And the music! I have returned, Mizuki. Didn't feel like sitting on the car tonight? I believed it would be appropriate to arrive on the ground. If you know that, why did you crash into my car? I was traveling across space and landed there by chance. How about last night? An envoy of Lord Hikoboshi should be on higher ground. However, you don't have to say it. However, I am here as your friend. Thus, I arrived on the ground. Mizuki didn't know how to respond, so she gave up. Welcome back. Shall we have dinner? I have been excited for it. It's waiting inside. Did you know, when I told Lord Hikoboshi about it, he was green with envy. I don't think my oyster soup is anything to be jealous about. Every star in the night sky would love to have it if they could. I doubt that. If you find the chance, you should ask them yourself. Do you think that will happen? You are speaking with me, are you not? I'll be in trouble if other stars crash here. One can never be certain of what will happen. Mizuki had the image of several Altair crashing into the parking lot. even with the money from the meteorite that could cause her trouble. Let's get ready for dinner. I haven't eaten today. Neither have I. There isn't anything to eat in the sky, is there? There is not. However, allow me to ask a question. What do you want? This is an embarrassment to ask. Does the Konpeito we stored in the car remain there? I regret that I was not able to enjoy the remainder of it last night. Mizuki had completely forgotten about it. She checked the car, saw it was in the seat, and pocketed it. It's here, but you can't have it. Why, Mizuki? You are aware how deeply I enjoy... You can have it after dinner. You shouldn't have sugar before a meal. Ah, is that the conventional wisdom of this world? I would prefer to have Konpeito this moment, yet I possess the patience to wait. Let's go inside. Mizuki led Altair to the living room, where the seafood was waiting on the kotatsu. Altair was immediately distracted by the foam box holding the seafood. This container was not present yesterday. What is this, Mizuki? Altair prodded the box from every angle, trying to learn about it. It's an ice box. It keeps cold in and heat out. Another convenient object. Surely everyone must possess one of these. Most people have a better box. A container superior to this? What sort of container would that be? A box that can create cold instead of only keeping it in. The songs are unencrypted and available in .ogg format, but the only thing I can find out about the creator is that they go under the name K-Ice. Okay, well, thank you so much, Nasuri. I really appreciate it. At least that's a good starting point for me. And then I can kind of just go from there then. But really, thank you so much. Create cold. I understand creating heat with fire, yet I had never considered creating cold. The world spins. It does indeed. I would desire to see one of these boxes if I could. We can take a look after dinner if you want. Truly, what an exciting night tonight is. It shouldn't take much time. Mizuki didn't own much tableware, but she did have bowls and spoons. Along with a portable gas burner and a pot she bought, she was ready. The stage was set for an unrivaled display of cooking, at least by the standards of Mizuki. To view my meal as it is being cooked, what a privilege. It's nothing to be impressed about. May we make a request? No, a demand, Mizuki. A polite way to make a demand, but sure. I ask that you explain what you are doing as you cook. I don't want to. That's embarrassing. I would not understand the process without commentary. You've gotten pushy. Unfortunately, I can't find more, sorry. No, you have nothing to apologize for, Nasuri. You've done more than I would have expected. Like anybody, because I would have just done it myself. So I really appreciate you helping me out with that. So thank you again. Mizuki thought about it. Was she willing to demonstrate as she cooked? She couldn't think of anything more embarrassing to do. Oh, this is how I feel. I want to, but I would also be hella anxious or nervous or embarrassed doing a cooking stream, because I haven't done a cooking stream since 2021, and that was That was an experience. Yeah, there was I do want to eventually do a cooking stream, or at least do cooking streams as a variety thing, but it would depend, I guess. I don't know, but I would feel embarrassed like trying to explain my process, and then you'd be seeing my knife skills, and I don't know, yeah. But the alternative was being interrupted by Altair's questions. Alright. You are surprisingly willing to follow demands, Mizuki. If you think so, I'll start ignoring them. Don't sweat or feel obligated to do so. Thank you. Yeah, I don't feel obligated. It's something that I just want to do. Like, I think it'll be fun. But I guess it will see. You know, we'll have to see how things continue to go and all that. I apologize. I did not intend to take your willingness for granted. Mizuki placed her ingredients on the kotatsu in front of her. She hadn't cooked in years, but this was easy enough, even for her. What she lacked in experience, she made up for with modern convenience. Then the cooking began. So I see lotus roots, I see carrots, I'm assuming this is tofu, and here's the oysters. I'll start by pouring water into the pot and turning the burner on. A combustion device similar to the car. Don't interrupt me, but like the car. I will remain silent. Once the water is hot, I'll mix in this instant soup. Mizuki could see Altair wanted to comment, but was holding herself back. It's like the seafood ramen, but meant to be in a dish instead of eaten alone. Altair nodded enthusiastically in response. Then I'll mix in pre-cut vegetables. She dumped them unceremoniously into the ceramic bowl. Along with them, I'll mix in tofu. Because she didn't own a knife, she roughly cut the tofu with a chopstick. Then we wait. How impressive! I have always considered cooking a laborious process, yet you were able to cook while barely lifting a finger. Modern convenience. In the past, this would have taken hours. Yet here we are, in mere minutes. I could never have conceived this. It's because of other people's work that it's this easy. For cooking to be this effortless when labor is shared, mankind is truly fearsome. This is not a good example. I'm not trying very hard. I believe you are exerting yourself enough, Mizuki. Lastly, once the vegetables are half cooked, you throw the oysters in and wait. Mizuki opened the foam box and splashed the oysters into the pot. I hope she rinsed them. It's a waste to have oysters with instant soup, but it should be fine. She wasn't going to make soup from scratch. Not that she knew how. Wait, how much coffee do I have? Hold on. It's cold coffee at this point, but okay, I have half a cup of coffee still. So I'm gonna start drinking that. Drinking this. When did I have this cup of coffee? Wait, I'm trying to think. When did this coffee get made for me? I want to say 11 a.m. I think. Definitely before I streamed. So it's definitely 5+ hours old. So maybe 6? 6 hours old coffee? Yeah. Yeah, so it's about 6 hours ago I had this cup of coffee. At least I've been drinking water instead. Like I made sure to drink water and instead of my coffee. It's not that bad. It's just room temperature coffee. I don't mind it at least. Yeah, it sounds like you start. That's oyster soup. As Mizuki finished cooking, Altair applauded. That was a wonderful demonstration. Does everyone cook this way now? No, this is how I cook. What is different about your method of cooking? I don't use many tools. Does the average cook have significantly more? They usually have a kitchen. I was curious about that. You surprised me when you cook soup on a single table. Cup ramen is considered a snack, not a meal. Do you consider it a snack, Mizuki? No. I believe I am beginning to understand you, Mizuki. What do you mean? If I did not request it, you would never cook yourself a meal such as oyster soup. You're right. As someone who doesn't drink coffee at all coffee falls under the blur category to me. That's fair, Yasuri. That's fair. Yeah, this is the downside of having ramen sometimes. It's like, it's definitely more congestion for me right now. And I think like me almost crying earlier doesn't help either. The two of them sat across each other quietly as the hot pot simmered. While Altair was focused on the hot pot, Mizuki was restraining herself. She wanted to discuss what they talked about last night. Was now the right time to talk about it? She already knew. There wasn't much time left. She breathed in deeply and felt the crack of her broken ribs. All right, let's do this properly. Altair looked away from the hot pot and faced Mizuki. She already knew what Mizuki wanted to talk about. Very well. I introduced myself to you the night we met. Do you remember? I recall. Your hobby is beetle fighting and your favorite food is uni. That's right. What is uni? It's a spiny sea creature that's creamy and delicious. Ah, of course that is your favorite food. You are Don't finish that sentence. Introduce yourself. Have I not already? You introduce yourself as Hikoboshi, but I don't know who you are. I do not believe who I am is that important. I want to know. What should I even say about myself? Altair thought about it and then settled on her own introduction. I do not have a name, and I am millions of years old. I am the envoy of Lord Hikoboshi. I do not have any hobbies, and my favorite food is oyster soup. I do not have blood. And what is a star sign? A specific constellation. Don't worry about it. If a star sign is a constellation, I believe I would be in Aquila. That would make you a Capricorn. I would prefer to be a bird than a goat. Must I be a Capricorn? It's the star sign nearest to Aquila. As a star myself, I would prefer not to be addressed as another star. The irony of that sentence was not lost on Mizuki. Aquila it is then. I like Konpeito, and I dislike light pollution. How do you know about light pollution? Lord Hikoboshi complains about it constantly, saying nobody can see him. He sounds like a petty person. Though he is a generous man, he has much to complain about. Does he complain about how much he misses his wife? That is the majority of our conversation. My only reprieve is the 7th of July. Oh, that festival! Okay, I know what they're talking about. Okay. Yeah, okay, so there's an actual festival held around this time, 7th of July, where it's essentially like referring like two star-crossed lovers is one way to do it. It's like this is the only time they can meet with each other. So yeah, okay, I know what they're talking about. Okay. You only get a break one day a year? You work hard. Indeed I do. This visit is an exception, however. How often are you allowed to visit here? Once every 400 to 500 years. Could you tell me about your last visit? As Mizuki asked that question, she saw that the hot pot was ready. Wait, you can tell me while we eat. Ah, the food is finally ready. It would be good accompaniment to my story. Let me scoop you some. I don't want you to spill it on yourself. Mizuki scooped Altair a bowl of the oyster soup, the steam rising from it. She did the same for herself, and then fetched the crab from the box. The crab was a bundle of legs, pre-cooked and broken in half. There was no way Mizuki could ever cook crab herself. As Altair saw the crab, her eyes widened. What a wonderful shape and color these have! The crab must be enormous. These are from a king crab. They're bigger than your head. I would desire to see one as well. I'll see what I can do. What a kind woman you are, Mizuki. You could say that. Mizuki clapped her hands together in gratitude, and so did Altair. Let's eat. The two of them started eating. Oh my god, like, I just love the art design here. Like, it's just so cute. Mizuki started with the oyster, while Altair went for the vegetables first. That's good. Mizuki hadn't had oysters since the last time her mom cooked them. The vegetables soaked the flavor of the soup exceptionally well. It did. Both of them focused on the food, and the room was silent. Eventually, Altair finished all her vegetables and had her first oyster. This is delicious! No, even more delicious than during my last visit. This meat is bursting with the flavor of the sea. It is the sea itself, is it not? If you think that, you would love uni. Can we purchase it at the convenience store? The convenience store doesn't sell everything. Uni is a luxury good. Did you purchase the oyster and crab from the convenience store? No, it was from a specialty store for seafood. Could you have purchased uni there? They didn't have it available, or I would have. How inconvenient! It is a shame we will not be able to try it. Mizuki stopped eating. She was trying to think of how to mention it, but Altair did casually. Wasn't Altair afraid of dying? Mizuki couldn't understand her. So, you wanted to hear about my last visit, did you not? I do. Then listen closely and be amazed. Before that, want another bowl? Altair nodded. She had already emptied her first bowl. If you would, we should be able to have 4 bowls each, should we not? You can eat as much as you want. What a wonderful thing to hear! Mizuki shook herself out of it and refilled Altair's bowl. This would be their final meal together. There was no need to rush. They should be able to talk about everything they needed to tonight. Altair accepted her second helping of hot pot. I will start regaling you with my story soon. However, Altair glanced at the crab in the middle of the table. Should we not enjoy the king crab first? You're right. Mizuki took a crab leg from the pile and scooped the meat with her spoon. She took a bite, and the crab's sweet flavor spread through her mouth. That's good. The food seemed especially delicious to her tonight. Altair copied Mizuki, and her eyes widened. This is also the flavor of the sea, in a way unlike the oyster. This fresh, sweet flavor is akin to the wind blowing at the shore. Oh, that's some visualization right there. It's good, isn't it? I could hardly conceive a more luxurious feast. You're welcome. Once more, you have our everlasting gratitude. If only she could have met Altair earlier. That was what Mizuki earnestly thought. Your story? Very well. The last time I visited this land was roughly 430 years ago. It was the end of a period of turmoil. If I recall correctly, a great villain had just died. The Demon King of the Sixth Heaven, they said? That's Oda Nobunaga. That was their name. They must be of great fame for you to remember them. Oh, you found the artist on Bandcamp? Oh, awesome! Thank you! You could say that. Here. I'm gonna get wrong. What? I don't know why it defaulted to that, but okay. Okay, there you go. Oh, because it was just an example. Okay, yeah, so you can actually post a link for the next 60 seconds. Thank you! Yeah, so I'll definitely give a look at their other works then. The person who gave me lodging certainly resented them. Who were they? They had a most brilliant name, Terumoto. I got along with them well. You said he built a castle. Terumoto Mori? Is that common knowledge? Or is your grasp of history that impressive? I have no idea about Japanese history, actually. I recognize some of these names like Nobunaga, but I don't know too much history beyond that. I know a few things. You should consider becoming a scholar. I don't like studying. You may have an aptitude for it. You are young. It is worth trying. Mizuki knew Altair was a god and several million years old, but to be called young by someone who looked younger felt strange. You were saying? Ah, of course. I crashed through the roof of his house. Couldn't you have landed more gracefully? When journaling across the heavenly river, landing is an afterthought. You said something similar earlier. Regardless, Terumoto immediately pointed a sword at me. I can't blame him. I glowed and introduced myself as Hikoboshi, which calmed him down. When I asked him about his wish, he said a similar thing to you. fixed a hole in my roof. What a sensible man. I brought him to the corpse of a star and he was overjoyed. He threw me a feast, and that was where I had oyster soup. Was that the most important thing about the visit to you? Though not the most important, the most memorable. Altair took a sip of her soup, as if to remind herself of the past. I left him soon after, on good terms. If I may ask a question, do you know what happened to him after I left? He lived a good life and died at 72. That is pleasant to hear. He was a simple man at heart, Terumoto. Mizuki didn't know how to respond, so she ate. There was a sentiment behind Altair's words she couldn't quite grasp. Mizuki prepared her resolve. There was something important they had to discuss. Thank you for the hydrate, Yasuri. I also probably should turn on some more lights in my office. Give me one moment. Let's see, I probably should plug this in too. Upside down? Oh, yes. There we go. Okay. Can I ask you a question? You do not require my permission, Mizuki. You're going to die tonight, aren't you? It was the question Mizuki had avoided. Altair did not answer immediately and took another sip of soup. I am. I did not intend to tell you. I thought to fade as you slept. You did not need to tell me. I already knew. You said you were visiting for 3 nights. You said your lights was fading away. And gods are similar to cats. To be called a goat and a cat in a single night. Could you explain the meaning, Mizuki? Do you know what a cat does when they're about to die? I am unaware. They find somewhere where nobody can see them, and then die alone. Ah, that is the reason you compared me to a cat. It isn't just you. Have you witnessed the death of a god, Mizuki? Mizuki hesitated. In truth, she trusted Altair enough to tell her everything. There was no risk telling the dying star her story, but she had never told anyone before. She didn't know how. We should eat. Mizuki, tell me, I'll tell you everything about it, but I don't want your feast to get cold. Very well. The two of them continued to eat without another word. With the atmosphere as it was, the food was not as delicious. Mizuki didn't know earlier, but this was meant to be Altair's last meal, and she couldn't stand it ending this way. I wish. As Mizuki started to speak, Altair paid attention. I have been waiting to hear your true wish, Mizuki. Whatever you desire, I swear to do my utmost to grant it. Should eat something. I've been awake for 11 hours. Oh, yeah, no, Yasser, you should definitely eat. Like, do you have anything quick to eat? Or like ramen, snacks, rice and eggs? Like, anything like that at all? Because definitely make sure to eat. I wish to be with you until the end. Hi, Bob. Well, Bobby, technically, I don't know why I just stopped at Bob, but yeah, how are you today? Yeah, Nasri, make sure to eat, please. Please and thank you. That's good. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. I'm doing alright. A lot of talking today, because I've been doing a lot of like narrative and choice-based games. So like nothing scary, nothing creepy today. Not like the last time you tuned in. But yeah, it's been like at least 5 hours because like it was a good like 15 minutes I was just doing setup and everything. So yeah. You like this change, Nasri? Well, I mean, if there's ever like more narrative games like this, I wouldn't mind. Maybe like a once a month thing where it's just like chilling and chatting type of thing. Did you not have another wish, Mizuki? That is what I desire to hear. What you want doesn't matter. This is my wish now. I suppose I cannot defeat you, Mizuki. I will grant your wish. No. No. I'll be the one granting your wishes. Mizuki took the Konpeito from her pocket and threw it onto the kotatsu. Finish eating. We have a few places to visit. Very well. The pair ate with renewed energy and finished their food in record time. Once they were done eating, Mizuki and Altair got into the car. It was past dinner time, which meant the stores would close soon. Mizuki decided that she would sate Altair's curiosity as much as she could. The code box, seeing a king crab, tasting uni. Anything else? You truly are granting my wishes, Mizuki. Allow me a thought. What else? Despite her curiosity, put on the spot, Altair couldn't think of anything. She looked at the Konpeito that she was holding. May we view the castle that Terumoto built? We can. That is all I desire at the moment. All right. Mizuki started the car and headed out from the shrine. Their first stop was a convenience store. They could look at a freezer there, and Mizuki could have another popsicle. She parked the car, and instead of leaving Altair inside, gestured for her to follow. Are you certain, Mizuki? You're a god. Normal people can't see or hear you. I was not aware of that. Does that imply you are abnormal, Mizuki? I mean, so her grandmother is the god of desperation. So like, wouldn't that mean that like Mizuki is like at least partially a god, like a demigod of some sort? Like, is that why she's able to see Altair and all of that? And why she's also stronger than the normal female? Oh, okay. I can see and hear you because I'm a shrine maiden. So that's how they're gonna explain it so far. Then, how could several people perceive me in the past? The world spins. People now are not as sensitive to spirits. Even in the past, only Terumoto could perceive me clearly. He must have had sharp eyes. He was a man who could see many things. As they approached the convenience store, Mizuki warned Altair, "People can't hear you, but they can hear me. Don't touch anything, and keep quiet until we're back in the car." As you wish. The two of them entered the convenience store. Mizuki walked to the freezer and got a popsicle. As she did, Altair examined the freezer closely. As you stated, Mizuki, this box can create cold. When Mizuki didn't respond, Altair remembered to keep quiet. Mizuki paid for her popsicle, and the two of them left the store. They returned to the car, and as Mizuki started it, the floodgate broke. That was truly a superior container. Unlike the box you used for the seafood, which contained ice, this box was able to create cold without it. The ice on the inside of the box is simply a result of the cold, rather than the cause. What is the mechanism of the cold box? Do you want? I do not desire a hint, Mizuki. You're already aware. Do you want a bite? Mizuki offered Altair a bite of her popsicle. It was a cheap popsicle with a crunchy ice texture, popular with children. I would certainly appreciate a taste. What would this food be? It's a popsicle, a cold dessert. Leftover fried rice? Nice! What type of fried rice is it? Shrimp fried rice, pork fried rice, chicken fried rice, steak fried rice? Or plain egg fried rice? There's a lot of different options for fried rice. A dessert? I would have not expected this to be sweet. Altair bit into the popsicle. This is cold! I have never eaten anything as cold as this. I am reminded of space. The texture is akin to ice, yet soft enough to bite, and sweet, sweeter than sugar. Pork and egg fried rice? Nice! I'm a fan of that. That's good. Altair handed the popsicle back to Mizuki. Although I believe I prefer Konpeito, that was an interesting food. Too sweet for you? I would need to be accustomed to the intense sweetness. I actually don't like popsicles. Because they're too cold and they're usually fruity, so I'm not a big fan of that. And they're messy too. Like when they melt, it's sticky, and I don't like the feel of that. So I've never been a big fan of popsicles. It's also why I don't like water ice either. Ugh, no, Yasuri, no. Oh god, I can't do sour gummy candy either. I just can't. Oh my god. Ah. Oh my god. Okay. Mizuki retrieved her popsicle and quickly tore through it. As Mizuki ate, Altair had a Konpeito and contemplated the freezer. It should not be possible to create cold without a mechanism. I'll drive while you think. Mizuki drove to the store where she bought the oyster and crab. She recalled that there were live king crabs being displayed in front. It wasn't as good as an aquarium, but those were closed this late. She broke Altair out of her thought. We're at the king crab. Is it possible to emit cold as have we arrived already? We have. Then we should not test the patience of royalty, Mizuki. The pair once again left the car to view the window. In the dark of the night, the king crabs were docile. What a grand creature! For royalty to be captured and eaten is a cruel fate. Weren't they delicious though? Regrettably, I must admit they taste as grand as they appear. Aren't you going to apologize? It would be disrespectful to seek their mercy after gleefully devouring them. You can only show gratitude. Is that the meaning of the gesture you perform before a meal? That's right, it's like a prayer. In response, Altair faced the king crab tank and clasped her hands. I am grateful I was able to enjoy the blue-blooded flavor of your kin. After Altair showed her gratitude, the pair returned to the car for the next stop. Uni, Mizuki's favorite food, was not available at that store. That meant her only choice was to order from a restaurant. She normally wouldn't, but she had recently come into money. 1 uni and spinach for takeout, 2 pairs of chopsticks. Mizuki wouldn't be able to share with Altair if she dined in. The waiter accepted her order, and Altair spoke as they left. Are uni and spinach known to accompany each other well? It's a local delicacy. Mizuki's order soon arrived, and she brought it to the car. Uni and spinach was, as Mizuki said, local to Hiroshima. The ingredients were fried in butter soy sauce and accompanied by a baguette. A savory aroma filled the interior of the car as she opened the container. Want the first bite? She just wanted to beat me even lower. I have it on mine too, but no one ever does anything there. Oh, well, now that I know, I'll be sure to do that. As long as there's like somebody to like duel against and everything. Mizuki extended the container toward Altair. If you would, allow me to discover the flavor of uni. Altair picked up a piece of uni with her chopsticks and ate it in one bite. What an indescribable flavor! Sweet, salty, creamy! I now understand what you meant, Mizuki. I can taste the sea itself, down to the sand and stone, even the sauce enveloping it. A combination of east and west, of crop and dairy together. This is truly delicious. However, I do not believe I can eat more this moment. The flavor is rich beyond measure. Would I be able to request the last piece of uni? I'll think about it. Mizuki ate the rest of the uni and spinach without any talk. Well, at least you only lost 2 points, Bobby. She didn't get to enjoy uni often, so she savored the opportunity. Once she ate almost everything, she mopped the sauce with the bread. Still rigged? Maybe it'll be in your favor eventually. She ate everything except the last piece of uni and offered it to Altair. Altair gratefully accepted the uni and once again ate it in one bite. A spiny creature with a rich, complex flavor, uni truly is similar to you, Mizuki. I told you not to say it. I believed it needed to be said. We only have one place left then. The castle of Terumoto. Is it distant from this location? It isn't. We're close. Hiroshima Castle was less than half an hour away. In that span of time, their trip together would be over. When she was about to start the car, Mizuki hesitated. "Is there an issue, Mizuki?" "There isn't." Mizuki knew she couldn't delay it. The night would end whether or not they went to the castle. The only difference was if Altair was satisfied. Mizuki would not let her leave with any regrets. She started the car. "Oh, Star, you lost 100 points. Hi, Schizo. Welcome back. You lost all your points as well, Schizo. So you have to pick somebody to duel, like type their name first, Bobby. So it'll be like !duel, then Stargaze. Well, okay, so Star, I'm gonna suggest maybe you deny real quick. And so Bobby, if you're gonna want to do the duel, put star and then put 100 to specify how many points or stars you want to actually put in the duel. Fun fact, uni is one of the best ingredients in Toho Mystia's izakaya and the most expensive of the seafood available. I believe it. That's what I'm trying to say. I definitely believe that, Yasuri, because like whenever you order uni from a restaurant, it's market value. So like sometimes it'd be like $20 some and everything. Yeah, there you go. So essentially, you can bet 100 points to see who wins. After a short drive, the pair arrived at Hiroshima Castle. The castle loomed over the city with a watchful eye. It was the final destination of their enjoyable trip. Once they finished here, there was nothing left. To think the wish of Terumoto is standing after all this time. Altair gazed at the castle, caught in memory. I was never able to see it before I left. I only heard him speak of it, dream about it. Mizuki took a seat on the grass. What sort of person was Mori Terumoto? Terumoto was a simple, cautious man with a modest amount of ambition. Despite living during a time of war, he never seemed to lose his footing. And you got along with him? Unlike everyone else who could see me, he didn't treat me as a god. Could you believe he had the audacity to call me a nuisance, Mizuki? Easily, I can see why. He was my dear friend, the same as you. It would not be a surprise to me if you held his blood. My family line have lived here for more than 1,000 years. Seabed Shrine existed before Hiroshima did, before even Japan. In regard to Seabed Shrine, allow me to ask, is the god of the shrine absent? They were not there. There was no way Altair wouldn't notice, as a god herself. Mizuki was the shrine maiden of an empty shrine. Alright, it's about time I tell you about myself. I said I would. Mizuki gestured for Altair to take a seat next to her, and she did. She had never told anyone her story, not that they'd understand. My father was the caretaker of Seabed Shrine before me. He fell in love with a woman, and after she gave birth to me, she abandoned us. I don't know the reason why, and I don't care. When I turned 6, my father decided to chase after that woman. He prayed to the god of the shrine and asked them to care for me. But the god of desperation asks for a sacrifice to answer your prayer. What he sacrificed was me, and he washed his hands of me entirely. My father never returned, and the god raised me for 12 years. The god of Seabed Shrine. She's my mother, my only family. Once I turned 18, my father's prayer was answered. She could no longer take care of me. Not only could she no longer take care of me, she was fading. Only my father and I knew she existed. She had been forgotten. Like a cat, she chose to leave instead of stay with me until the end. I haven't seen her since. So your true wish would be, I want to see my mother again. If she is truly gone, I cannot grant that wish. I know. The pair sat silently, wind blowing across the grass as the castle loomed. Mizuki stood from the grass and offered her hand to Altair. That's why I didn't want to tell you my wish. That's why I wished to be with you until the end. Altair accepted Mizuki's hand and stood from the ground. She seemed to be thinking about Mizuki's story. If nothing else, I can certainly grant that wish. I am grateful for your company, Mizuki. You know, this isn't the real Hiroshima Castle. What could you mean? What else could hold such grandeur? The castle Mori Terremoto built burnt down. This is a replica. As long as it bears the name Hiroshima Castle, his wish is enduring. Hiroshima wouldn't be here without him. Or you, either. At long last, you understand my importance, my influence upon history. The last 3 nights are more important to me than that. I could only hope that you will never forget them. Mizuki started to head back toward the car. Let's go home. Wait, Mizuki. What do you want? I believe I understand how the cold box works. How do you think a freezer works? I believe the cold box is not creating cold. That is impossible. Instead, I believe the cold box is taking heat from within and moving it. I believe that the box must be radiating heat equal to the cold inside, which allows the contents to stay cold. I believe this is the correct answer, Mizuki. That's right. Once again, I have triumphed over a mystery of the modern age. I think you'd do worse if heat or combustion weren't involved. You should not take away from my accomplishment, Mizuki. Let's go home. The pair drove from Hiroshima Castle, done with their trip. Every question Altair had, even Mizuki's wish, had been answered. There was nothing left for the two of them to do except wait. A pleasant talk, maybe a snack, and the night would end. After talking about her past and the money from the meteorite, Mizuki decided that she did not need 2 jobs anymore. There's something I want to do. What would that be, Mizuki? I want to stop using the shrine as a parking lot. What is the meaning of the term parking lot? A place where people keep their cars. I thought they all belonged to you and you were simply collecting them. I only own the car you crashed into. Then it is fortunate that I did not crash into another car. You could say that. The owner of that car would blame you for it, would they not? I'd be able to pay for it with the meteorite, but it'd be annoying. Mizuki took the keyring with the key to every parked car. Could you wait in the house? This shouldn't take long. As you wish. One by one, Mizuki moved each car from the shrine to a nearby parking lot. She paid the parking fee and kept the key with her. She would hand them over to each person when they came for their car. Soon, the shrine was empty of vehicles and clean of any debris from them. If Mizuki wanted to see Altair off properly, it couldn't be in a parking lot. If her mother ever returned, she'd be pleased to see the shrine clean. Using the shrine as parking had supported her sad lifestyle, but she didn't need it anymore. When Mizuki entered her house, Altair was nowhere to be seen. Are you there? If Altair faded while she was working, she would be crushed. I was investigating the bathing room. I am fortunate I do not require it. Mizuki breathed a sigh of relief. What happens to the food you eat? It is combusted and converted into light and heat. How are you feeling? I feel radiant. I do not give the impression of a star about to fade, do I? You don't. That is precisely what I desired to hear. Altair sat down in the kotatsu. May I demand a bowl, Mizuki? Mizuki got a bowl from the cabinet and sat down as well. She turned the kotatsu on, causing soothing warmth to return. Altair poured her remaining konpeito, about 4 bags, into the bowl. I ask that you share these konpeito with me, Mizuki. Mizuki took a piece and popped it into her mouth. It was plain sugar, but that was not bad sometimes. Why did you decide to share them? I do not believe I could finish them myself. I could eat them after you're gone. I desired to enjoy them with my dear friend. Mizuki laughed, and then took another piece of konpeito. Since we're talking about it, let me ask a question. Whatever you would desire to know, Mizuki, are you afraid of dying? My body has been dead for an eternity, yet my light persisted. I am an existence similar to a spirit, a wisp of what I once was. Thank you for the hydrate, Yasuri. I will drink water instead of my cold coffee. However, if I had not persisted, I would not have met you. I believe I am only mildly afraid. I am prepared for the end. Mizuki looked at Altair as if she didn't know how to respond. After a moment of silence, she found the words she wanted. When my mother left, I hope she felt the same way as you, mildly afraid. If I could die feeling that way, I'd be happy. You should not consider death yet. You have a long life ahead of you. Altair continued slowly savoring the Konpeito, while Mizuki crunched. Do you remember when I said Mori Terumoto lived to 72? I recall. The average life of a man at that time was 50. Terumoto may have been simple, yet even death could not catch him. He must have been a stubborn old man. It is my hope that you age the same way. That would be nice. The Konpeito in the bowl dwindled, but the night went on. What's it like working for Lord Hikoboshi? I would say difficult, yet satisfying. That sounds like an excuse. I have much to complain about, yet I am equally rewarded. The majority of the time, my work is acting as his envoy, ferrying letters across the heavenly river. Are most of the letters to Lady Orihime? Only a mere 90% of them are. I'm surprised 10% aren't. To be truthful, 95% would be more precise. Since you ferry love letters back and forth, you should have been named Vega. That joke has been told to me more than there are stars in the sky, Mizuki. Add another one to the pile. What a cruel woman you are, Mizuki. They reached the bottom of the bowl, and only 2 Konpeito remained. Altair took one, and Mizuki took the other. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, so if you notice, when Mizuki talks, her words are in blue, and when Altair talks, her words are in yellow. And when they said that Altair took one, she took the blue Konpeito, and Mizuki took the yellow Konpeito. Like, they took their alternating colors. Oh my god, that's so cute. Oh. Altair looked right at Mizuki, and for this last piece, crunched the Konpeito in her mouth, not savoring it at all. Oh, what a satisfying experience that was. I now understand why you do it. Do you want this last piece? I ask that you savor it, Mizuki. Alright. Mizuki placed the Konpeito in her mouth and let it melt. The sweetness spread across her tongue as the star faded. Though it lasted longer than when she crunched it, soon enough it was gone. Is this Seabed shrine, Mizuki? It can barely be recognized. When the cars moved, the shrine grounds were completely open. The feeling of divinity it once held was restored. It is. In the last 3 nights, not a single person prayed aside from you. There were 3 people. They just prayed before you arrived. There should be many more now that it has the appropriate appearance. They won't pay more than a Parker, though. Mizuki checked the offering box. The last people to park paid there, as she said on her sign. She decided to leave it as the first offering of the renewed shrine. It didn't come from a prayer, but she thought the god wouldn't know. Altair looked at the shrine proper, devoid of a god. Mizuki, if you would allow me to ask, how often do you pray? Every day. What do you pray for? For my mom to come back. Altair stood in front of the offering box and prayed. 2 bows, 2 claps, and I ask that you return to Mizuki. 1 bow, as deeply as she could. even for a star, a god, there was no answer. I must not be desperate enough. You're only mildly afraid. I have accepted my circumstances long ago. Mizuki paused. You've accepted your circumstances? I have thought of fading away longer than you have been alive. Don't you wish you could live longer? Mizuki immediately regretted asking that. It was rare for her to ask such a tactless question. She kept quiet as Altair thought about her response. If not for the kindness of Lord Hikoboshi, I would not be here. I have lived a long life and experienced a great amount of joy. I believe that I am satisfied with the life I have lived. However, Altair looked at the sky where her star once shone. Mizuki followed her gaze upward. They looked together at what remained of Altair's light. If I may answer selfishly, I desired to live slightly longer. To serve Lord Hikoboshi until the next Star Festival. To enjoy another 100 Konpeito. To spend more time with my dear friend. Mizuki moved her gaze from the night sky to Altair and asked another tactless question. What if that wish could be granted? It would be wonderful, yet I dare not dream of it. I have been wishing for my mom to return for 6 years. You must love her deeply. I do, but now I know the reason she hasn't returned. What would the reason be, Mizuki? I accepted my circumstances, as I have, as you have. I can't wish for my mom to come back, and you can't wish for a longer life. As you've accepted your death, I, in my heart, accepted my mom was gone. I wanted her to stay with me. If she was going to fade away, it should have been where I could see her. I can't stand that she decided to fade alone. But I know that's what she wanted. Mizuki, you couldn't be more different from my mom, but you're also similar. If I didn't wish to be with you until the end, you'd be leaving soon. I wouldn't be able to accept that. I'm not going to leave, Mizuki. I will grant your wish. No. No? I'll be granting your wish. You have already granted me everything I could ask for. You have given me Konpeito, sated my curiosity, been my dear friend. There is nothing more you could grant me. I am satisfied, Mizuki. I'm not. What are you unsatisfied with? Everything. Everything. My car has a giant dent, I have several broken ribs, I live in a tiny house. Not enough people pray at the shrine, and the people that do pray are terrible. I had to use the shrine as a parking lot, and now that I've stopped, I won't get paid. My mom left me so I wouldn't have to see her die, and I've been alone since then. Lastly, Mizuki pointed directly at Altair. Someone I care for is about to die. There is nothing I can do about that, Mizuki. There's nothing you can do, that's true. But like I said, I'll be granting your wish. Mizuki turned toward the shrine. Or at least, my mom will. Mizuki, cease! Will the god not demand a sacrifice? I refuse to allow you to sacrifice yourself for my sake. What you want doesn't matter. I want you to live. 2 bows. 2 claps. Mom, if you hear me, I need you to save her. 1 bow. I've been watching over Mizuki since she was born. Once I fulfilled Hazuki's wish, I could feel myself fade away. I thought it would be a mercy if I died where she couldn't see. I didn't know that it would create such a hole in her heart. 6 years had passed since I hid myself from her. I left the shrine and watched her from Hiroshima itself. As part of the city, it was impossible for her to sense me. I believed that eventually Mizuki would forget about me. She never did. She prayed every day, every night for my return. As long as she kept praying, I would never truly fade. Unfortunately, her prayers lacked desperation. She had already accepted that I was gone. As long as she wasn't desperate, her prayers were weak. A single piece of Konpeito rather than a meal. I had raised her with love so she would want for nothing. I never thought that she would love me back as strongly. I was unable to fade and unable to manifest myself. I was an existence similar to a spirit. The moon reflected in muddy water. There was nothing I could do for her. Mom, if you can hear me, I need you to save her. I heard her prayer, felt her desperation. My form gained strength once more. I didn't want to answer her prayer, but I wanted to see my daughter. It's not a good thing that you can pray to me, Mizuki. I forced the words out of my mouth. They weren't the words I wanted to say, but she was able to understand me anyway. Before I could say anything, Mizuki caught me in a hug. I hugged back. I missed her. Mom, Mizuki, I didn't want to answer her prayer. If I did, I would take something from her. Shut up, Mom. You can't tell me to. You abandoned me for 6 years? I can. I didn't abandon you. I was fading. You should have stayed with me. There was no way I could win against my daughter. I raised her, and she had grown while I was away. I let the hug linger for as long as she wanted, and if I had the choice, even longer. Eventually, Mizuki broke the hug. I took a step back and examined the other person present. Altair, a god in a similar situation to me. A god that was about to fade away. All right. I organized the situation in my head and addressed Altair. Thank you for taking care of Mizuki. The pleasure was mine. However, I already knew what Altair wanted to say. She didn't want Mizuki to sacrifice herself. Neither did I. We had lived long enough. Could you change her mind, Altair? I will do my utmost. I'll leave it to you. Mizuki and Altair looked toward each other. I'm not going to change my mind. You should not sacrifice yourself for my sake, Mizuki. You don't have a choice in the matter. I do not wish to harm you. I have lived long enough. I regret my selfishness earlier. It was a moment of weakness. Why don't gods ever understand? Mizuki glared at me for a moment. What do we not understand? That you'll be missed. That I'll miss you. I certainly understand that, however, do you want to live? Not at your expense. Then you don't understand. If I do not understand, then explain. Tell me as clearly as you can manage. I cannot seem to arrive at the answer. Would you like a hint? Is this the appropriate time for a jest? It's the perfect time for a joke. Tell me the answer, Mizuki. We spent 3 nights together. Have you enjoyed them? The prior 3 nights have been among the most enjoyable in my existence. Is that enough for you? I am satisfied. You're not, and more importantly, I'm not. I cannot ask for more. You should ask for more. How could it be enough? You're amazed at a boiler, a car, a freezer. You think Konpeito is the most delicious dessert. You miss a man that you met 500 years ago. You don't know anything. There's so much that you haven't seen. There's so much that I haven't seen. I want to experience it with you. I wish to be with you until the end. At the time, I thought it would be your end. But if it's alright, I want you to live. Can't you be with me until my end? Altair was stunned silent. It took her over a minute to gather herself. I believe I understand now, Mizuki. Do you? You value me enough that you are willing to sacrifice yourself. You believe my existence is worth paying an arbitrary price. To see me fade away would be a loss you cannot accept. I believe this is the correct answer, Mizuki. That's right. What a cruel, mischievous, and kind woman you are, Mizuki. You could say that. You could have flourished even in the time of Terremoto. Such a sad audiobook. Yeah, until I start laughing. Altair had been completely outplayed. My daughter had overcome her with sheer selfishness. It didn't leave her any room to argue or defend herself. I hadn't seen this side of her since she was a child. Altair turned to look at me. I have done what I could. Mizuki has defeated me. Thank you for trying. You have raised a monster, god of desperation. You can call me Laoyue. Then, Laoyue, I leave her to you. I'll see what I can do. That left only Mizuki and myself. We looked into each other's eyes. All right. Do you know what's about to happen? Mizuki may not know the meaning of sacrifice. You'll take a sacrifice from me, like my arm or my daughter. You have a daughter? I don't, and I don't think I ever will. I'm disappointed, but I understand. If I did have one, she would make a great sacrifice, though. That's probably what Hazuki thought. Hazuki was pathetic to the end, but at least he gave me Mizuki. Mizuki, I don't want to take anything from you. You are the god of desperation. You have to. I'm a god. There's nothing I have to do. Mom, if I do this, I'll be able to save both of you. I don't need to be saved. Altair and I, we've lived long enough. If we take from you, will live with regret. At least you'll live to regret. Please answer my prayer, Mom. You'll be able to stay around for a while as well. This is everything I could wish for. She was right. I would need another sacrifice at some point, but I'd be able to stay. I'd be able to be a part of my daughter's life, if only for a few years. It was a convincing argument. I could not find an easy way around it. I love you, Mom. As your daughter, please, let me do this. It's because you're my daughter that I don't want you to. You lost the right to lecture me when you left. If you trust me, if you think I can take care of myself, let me do this, Mom. This is my decision, my prayer. I didn't have a choice. I had only one trick left. What are you willing to sacrifice? Anything. A man's life of 50 years under the sky is nothing compared to the age of this world. Why are you quoting Oda Nobunaga? Half your life. If you want her to live as long as you, give her half your life. Alright? Was my daughter an idiot? You shouldn't accept that. Half your life is a ridiculous sacrifice. You're the one who asked. Alright, another sacrifice. Whatever you want. The shrine. I will take the shrine, and you can never return to it or meet me. Oh no. Surely she wouldn't accept this. I could see her hesitate thinking about it. We had finally reunited after 6 long years. Would she be willing to say goodbye to me for Altair? Alright. Do you care about Altair more than me? I was almost hurt by her accepting that sacrifice. I know you're around. At least we can say goodbye. I'll find desperate people and send them to the shrine. It will be annoying to leave my house, but I'll figure it out. Now I know how you feel. Please don't say that, Mom. I waited for you for 6 years. You did. I didn't know what else I could take from her. She had shown she was willing to sacrifice anything. There wasn't any way that I could convince her. My last trick had failed. Alright. If I couldn't convince her to stop, I'd take the smallest sacrifice. She was my daughter. I didn't want to take anything from her. But I won't be able to fulfill her wish if I didn't. Reluctantly, I held out a golden needle. I'll take your left eye. What a modest sacrifice. I'm not a cruel god, Mizuki. Without hesitation, Mizuki took the needle. Thank you, Mom. Do you know what to do with it? Stab my eye. What else? My daughter was an idiot. You have to gaze upward at the star Altair. Stab your eye while looking at it, and the eye will see her light alone. She'll be able to live for as long as you do. I hope you live that long as well, Mom. We'll see. I'll make it happen. Don't keep her waiting. I had nothing more to say to her. What an annoying girl she was. Who raised her that way? They did a great job. You heard her. Are you willing to sacrifice your eye for my sake? An eye is a bargain. An eye for a lifelong friend of my quality? A bargain indeed. All right, I'm doing it now. Mizuki prepared herself, the golden needle in her hand. She was more than mildly afraid, but she was strong. She looked up at the night sky where Altair was. There you are. Mizuki would not let Altair fade away alone. The star would shine as long as she lived. She pushed the needle into her eye. Oh god, they actually had that sound effect there for it. A few months had passed since then. Winter came, and then spring, and then summer. Soon July had arrived, and with it Tanabata. The day Orihime and Hikoboshi could meet again. When I returned to living to the shrine, I was shocked. Even though I was watching over her, I underestimated her. I didn't think that a person could live with so little. She owned almost nothing that she did not need. With the money from the meteorite, she was set for a while. She didn't make as much from the shrine as before, but I was thankful it wasn't a parking lot anymore. Nobody wanted to pray in a parking lot. Without needing to work, Mizuki became lazy. She would sweep the shrine and entertain people, but she was slow about it and acted like they were bothering her. That made her popular among a certain demographic of people. I know why Mizuki was acting aimless though. She's become Reimu, yeah, like from Toho. After she saved Altair, Altair had to return to the Heavenly River. She said that she had to speak with Lord Hikoboshi. She promised to return as soon as possible. 2 bows, 2 claps. I wish she'd come back faster. 1 bow. You've been praying every day, but I can't sense any desperation. As the god of Seabed Shrine, I'm usually within the shrine itself. I know she'll return. Then you should stop asking me. What sort of sacrifice do you want, Mom? That's what I'm supposed to be asking you. We can negotiate. How about the tip of my pinky? You can't negotiate with a god, especially not your own mother. You could at least do the chores around the house. You're 25. You should do your own chores. You don't do anything except sit in the shrine. I'm a god, Mizuki. I'm supposed to do that. Have you gotten any good prayers recently? Someone prayed to roll an SSR. I asked for their hair. Must have been. It really needs to be a good SSR for that. Were they happy about that? Now they're bald and have an SSR they don't want. I looked at Mizuki and the completely empty shrine around us. Not a single person was here. Everyone was at the festival. Why are you here, Mizuki? I'm waiting. I didn't have to ask what she was waiting for. Did you ever have your car fixed? I did. It's in the parking lot nearby. It didn't cost much in the end, did it? The meteorite could have paid for it 100 times over. Have you considered buying an apartment with that money? My house right now is enough, Mom. It's barely even enough for you. As we bickered and bantered into the night, a shooting star shot across the sky. Did you make a wish, Mizuki? I did. Oh! A crash echoed through the shrine. Mizuki knew the source of the crash. She knew her car had been dented again. She didn't care. Across the vastness of space, we have arrived. The end. That was really nice. That was a fun time. It took us 4 hours to get through this with like how slow I talk and getting distracted and then pausing to eat and everything. But this was a good time. I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed the art and the music. But I'm gonna end things here, everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow for Lethal, and we'll go from there. Bye!